To make the best use of the session, I suggest you do two things. Number one, go through my theory session on legal reasoning. The link to the session is given on the description below. Second, create a free sign-up account on our website and solve the exercise on your own before you go through the video. The process for the free sign-up is also given on the description below. Now that you would have done both the things, let's start the class. Hello students, let's solve passage number 7. Now in this passage, the topic is about insider trading. So even if you know what insider trading is, do not use that knowledge here. Restrict yourself to the information given in the passage to solve the questions. All right. So you may pause it, go through the passage, and then you can play for the explanation. All right. So here, Salim is a secretary in a company. He has been in the company's employee for over 7 years, okay, but only as a secretary, and does not usually have access to any sensitive information at the company's offices. Salim's wife Sunaina is a share trader and makes a living by buying and selling shares on the stock market. Okay, fine. One day in Feb, Salim returned home and left his bag on the table. Sunaina noticed a piece of paper that had fallen out of the bag, and while picking it up, she saw that the paper described certain important plans that company was about to put into motion to expand its business dramatically by taking huge loans. Salim saw the paper in Sunaina's hands and asked her to put it away. All right. His boss, a director of the company, had asked Salim to proofread the paper and give it back to him the next day. All right. He had told Salim that the paper contained secret information that should not be revealed to anyone. Salim also knew from a training conducted by the company that an insider in possession of unpublished price. So here comes the criteria, or here comes the principles / rules. That an insider in possession of unpublished price sensitive information should not communicate, provide, or allow access to any unpublished price sensitive information relating to the company to any person, including other insiders, except where such communication was related to legitimate purposes, performance of duties, or discharge of legal obligations, and that an insider that did so would be guilty of the offense of insider trading. Okay. In the training, he learned that an insider meant, okay, now this one defines who an insider would be. Any person who is an employee, director, holder of more than 10% or more of the company share, or who is in possession of or has access to unpublished information. So basically this part covers everyone. If you have unpublished information, you would be considered as an insider. That may affect the price of the company's share on market. Okay, such information is called unpublished price sensitive information. So even unpublished, what is unpublished price sensitive information? Any information that may affect the price of the company's share on the market. That is called unpublished price sensitive information. So this is what. So in this passage till now, they've told us who an insider is, what is not supposed to do, and what is an unpublished price sensitive information. Okay, the second part of the passage, the next day, so in Feb, when did this happen? One day in Feb. Okay, so next day Feb, Sunaina sold all the shares she owned in company. Okay, Salim's boss owned 15% of the company shares, and he sold all his shares that same day. Both knew that under law, no insider may buy and then sell, or sell and then buy the shares of any company in relation to which they are an insider within a 6-month period. And if they do that, they will be guilty of committing a contra trade. So this paragraph gives us of the second offense, which is, one is insider trading, that is punishable. Second is contra trade. So if you buy and sell within 6 months as an insider, you would have committed contra trade. Who is an insider? That has already been explained. Okay. In November of the same year, the company shares were trading at a price much lower than they were in Feb. So basically, they bought, both of them. So Salim sold, Sunaina sold, and Salim also sold, right, in Feb. So if in 6 months they were to buy the shares, they will be guilty of contra trade. But when do they buy again? November. So this is more than 6 months. So Sunaina and Salim would not be guilty of contra trade because it is more than 6 months. Okay. So if you look at the passage talks about, defines who an insider is, almost everyone. What they are not supposed to do, they are not supposed to share communicate, provide, or allow access of unpublished price-sensitive information. Then the second part says contra trade. You can't buy and then sell, or sell and then buy the shares if you are an insider. Okay, let's look at the questions. Has Salim committed the offense of insider trading? So yes, Salim was an insider. He was an employee. He had sensitive information. And did he allow access? Yes, he allowed access to his wife. He was careless, right? So therefore, it would be yes. And the answer is C. Let's go to number 2. Who, if any, amongst the following has committed a contra trade? See, contra trade was, this is a condition, 6 months. So neither Sunaina nor Salim bought shares within 6 months. So neither of them are guilty. So 7.2, the answer is D because of this condition. Let's look at 7.3. Assume that Salim's boss owned only 8% of the company's share in February. Would he be guilty of insider trading? Now, this is the condition to be guilty of insider trading, right? This is the condition to be guilty of insider trading. So you might, so first of all, 8% is not relevant. He's the director of the company. So he's an insider. To decide, what you have to decide is whether he communicate or allow access to any unpublished information. You might think, yes, he allowed permission to Salim, but then look at this one. There is an exception. Except where such communication was related to a legitimate purpose, performance of duties, he was to proofread the information. So yes. So that is why this one will not be applicable. It comes in exception. Except. So he's not guilty of insider trading. Yes, since he was employee of the company and access to at the time of selling, no. He had to do one of these things, which he did. He did this, but there was a condition which is exception. No, since he did not share in prohibited manner. So yeah, this is the correct answer. This is not relevant. This is not relevant. So the answer is B. Last question. Salim is charged with the offense of insider trading by the authorities. Which of the following, if true, would be valid defense for Salim? So now the thing is, he's been guilty of this because Salim's wife, he allowed access to his wife. So if you can hit that part, he could get a valid defense, right? So look at this. यहाँ की वजह से मार खाई है सलीम ने. So if he can take care of this, he would have a valid defense. He had not been an employee of the company. He could still be any person who was in possession of unpublished price-sensitive information. So out. He had not bought nor sold any shares of the company. That is not required. If you allow access to someone, you are guilty of insider trading. He had locked his bag, and Sunaina had picked the log on his bag and retrieved the paper, which means actively she did that. He did not allow. He had taken care. Better than A and B. Let's look at D. He did not know that Sunaina traded in shares. That again is not a condition. If you allow access, you are guilty of insider trading. C, not that great, but better than the lot. So therefore, C is the correct answer. So with this, we end our session on this. If you like the session, please click on the like button and subscribe to our channel. And if you want us to come up with content on something else which you think would help your CLAT preparation, do let us know and we'll come up with content on that. Thank you for your time and all the best for your CLAT preparation. We at Mentors Capital have curated the best test series for you. We can confidently claim that our test series is best in the market. So go and see it for yourself. Remember, coaching kahin se bhi. Test series from Mentors Capital.